In the annals of human history, 1969 stands as a pivotal year, a year when the impossible became reality. The world watched in awe as humanity reached beyond the confines of our planet. On July 20th, millions around the globe held their breath, their eyes glued to television screens, as Neil Armstrong descended from the Apollo 11 lunar module and uttered those immortal words. "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." It was a moment that transcended borders and united people in a shared sense of wonder and achievement. But what if this monumental achievement, this testament to human ingenuity, was nothing more than an elaborate hoax, a carefully staged performance designed to win the space race against the Soviet Union? The idea seems preposterous, yet it has persisted for decades. For decades, whispers of doubt have circulated, fueled by conspiracy theorists claiming that the moon landing never happened. These theories have found fertile ground in the minds of those who question the official narrative. They point to inconsistencies in the official narrative, supposed anomalies in photographs and footage, such as shadows that don't align, or the flag appearing to wave in a vacuum, and the sheer audacity of the achievement itself. How could a nation that had only recently developed the technology for manned spaceflight accomplish such a feat? Could it be that this pivotal moment in human history, this symbol of our collective ambition, is nothing more than a carefully constructed lie? The implications of such a deception are staggering. The truth, as always, is shrouded in mystery, a tangled web of facts and speculation, leaving us to grapple with the evidence and come to our own conclusions. The line between reality and fiction becomes increasingly blurred, a tangled web of facts and speculation leaving us to grapple with the evidence and come to our own conclusions. The debate continues to rage on, with new theories and counter-arguments emerging regularly. Join us as we delve into the heart of this enduring controversy, examining the evidence, exploring the myths, and questioning the very nature of truth itself, and confronting the uncomfortable possibility that what we thought we knew about the moon landing might be fundamentally flawed. Could our understanding of this historic event be based on a series of misconceptions? The question remains, was the moon landing mankind's greatest triumph, or its most audacious deception? As we sift through the layers of information, we must ask ourselves, what do we truly believe and why? The conspiracy theories surrounding the moon landing are as varied as they are persistent. These theories have captivated the imaginations of many, leading to a plethora of books, documentaries, and online discussions dedicated to unraveling what some believe to be one of the greatest hoaxes in history. Some claim that the entire Apollo program was faked from beginning to end, filmed on a soundstage in Hollywood with the help of renowned filmmaker Stanley Kubrick. They argue that the technology of the 1960s was insufficient to achieve such a feat, and that the US government, eager to win the space race against the Soviet Union, resorted to deception. Others believe that while NASA did send astronauts into space, they never actually landed on the moon, instead orbiting Earth until it was safe to return, armed with fabricated evidence of their lunar adventure. This theory suggests that the risks and unknowns of a moon landing were too great, prompting NASA to stage the event to maintain public support and funding. One of the most enduring myths centers around the iconic photograph of Buzz Aldrin planting the American flag on the lunar surface. This image has been scrutinized endlessly, with skeptics pointing out what they believe to be inconsistencies. Conspiracy theorists point to the way the flag appears to wave in the wind, despite the moon's lack of atmosphere. They argue that this could only be possible if the flag were being manipulated in a controlled environment, such as a film studio. They question the strange angles of shadows in photographs, suggesting multiple light sources were used, inconsistent with the sun being the only source of light on the moon. This has led to claims that artificial lighting was employed to create the illusion of a lunar landscape. Further fueling suspicions are the claims that the Van Allen radiation belts, rings of charged particles surrounding Earth, would have been impossible for astronauts to traverse without suffering fatal doses of radiation. Skeptics argue that the shielding technology of the time was inadequate to protect the astronauts from such intense radiation. Others point to the lack of a blast crater beneath the lunar module, questioning how it could have landed without leaving a mark on the lunar surface. They argue that the powerful descent engines should have created a noticeable impact, yet photographs show an undisturbed surface. These are just a few of the many questions raised by those who doubt the authenticity of the moon landing. Each theory, while intriguing, often overlooks key scientific explanations and evidence that support the reality of the lunar missions. While seemingly plausible on the surface, these theories often fall apart under closer scrutiny. A closer examination of the evidence reveals that these claims lack scientific merit and are easily debunked. Experts have provided detailed explanations for the flag's movement, the shadow angles, and the lack of a blast crater, all of which align with our understanding of physics and the conditions on the moon. The Van Allen belts, while dangerous, were traversed with careful planning and adequate shielding, ensuring the astronauts' safety. The moon landing remains one of humanity's greatest achievements, a testament to our ingenuity and determination. Let's address the seemingly waving flag. While it's true that the moon has no atmosphere and therefore no wind, the flag's appearance can be explained by the way it was mounted. A telescopic pole was extended along the top to make the flag fly proudly, and the wrinkles and ripples in the fabric, created during its journey in the spacecraft, give the illusion of movement in the still photographs. The strange shadows are another optical illusion, a product of the way light interacts with the lunar surface. The moon's surface is covered in fine dust called regolith, which reflects light differently than Earth's surface. This, combined with the wide-angle lenses used by the astronauts, can create distortions and make shadows appear to converge or diverge in unusual ways. As for the lack of a blast crater, this can be attributed to the way the lunar module's engine was designed. Unlike rockets designed for Earth launches, which require massive thrust to overcome our planet's gravity, the lunar module's engine was designed for a much gentler landing in the moon's weaker gravitational field. The engine's thrust was spread over a wider area, preventing a deep crater from forming. The Van Allen radiation belts, those invisible rings of charged particles trapped in Earth's magnetic field, do indeed pose a significant radiation hazard. However, the Apollo missions were carefully planned to minimize exposure to this radiation. The belts consist of two main layers, the inner and outer belts, each with varying levels of radiation intensity. The inner belt is primarily composed of protons, while the outer belt contains a mix of protons and electrons. Understanding the composition and behavior of these belts was crucial for mission planning. The spacecraft traveled through the belts at high speed, minimizing the time spent in the most intense regions of radiation. This rapid transit was a key factor in reducing the astronauts' exposure. Furthermore, the Apollo spacecraft and the astronauts' spacesuits were equipped with radiation shielding to protect them from harmful radiation levels. The shielding was designed to absorb and deflect the radiation, ensuring that the astronauts remained safe during their journey to the moon and back. While the astronauts would have been exposed to higher than normal levels of radiation during their mission, the levels were well below those considered lethal or even immediately dangerous. In fact, NASA has extensively studied the long-term health effects of space radiation on the Apollo astronauts. These studies have included detailed medical examinations and health monitoring over the decades since the missions. The data collected has provided valuable insights into the effects of space radiation on the human body. While some astronauts have experienced health issues later in life, these have not been conclusively linked to their time in space, and their overall life expectancy has not been significantly different from that of the general population. The health issues observed are similar to those found in the general population, suggesting that other factors, such as genetics and lifestyle, play a more significant role. NASA continues to monitor the health of its astronauts to this day, ensuring that any potential long-term effects of space travel are thoroughly understood and addressed. The claim that the Van Allen belts would have made a moon landing impossible is simply not supported by scientific evidence. NASA took numerous precautions to mitigate the risks of radiation exposure, and the astronauts' health was carefully monitored throughout the mission and beyond. The success of the Apollo missions stands as a testament to the rigorous planning and scientific understanding that went into ensuring the safety of the astronauts. The lessons learned from these missions continue to inform current and future space exploration endeavors, paving the way for humanity's continued journey into the cosmos. Another point of contention for conspiracy theorists is the lack of stars in the photographs taken on the moon. They argue that if the landings were real, the stars should be clearly visible in the blackness of space. However, this argument betrays a fundamental misunderstanding of photography and the lunar environment. The moon's surface, even during the lunar day, is surprisingly bright due to the reflective nature of the regolith. This, combined with the limitations of camera technology at the time, meant that capturing both the brightly lit lunar landscape and the faint light of distant stars in the same photograph was practically impossible. The astronauts were primarily focused on capturing images of the lunar surface, which required faster shutter speeds and smaller apertures, settings that would have made it impossible to capture the faint light of stars. It's like trying to photograph a dimly lit object in a brightly lit room. The camera's settings will prioritize the brighter subject, making the dimmer object appear invisible. The absence of stars in the Apollo photographs is not evidence of a hoax, but rather a testament to the challenges of photography in the unique lighting conditions of the lunar surface. What do you think? Was the moon landing real or not? Share your thoughts in the comments below.